There we go. So I am delighted to announce my second guest today. His name is Eric Maul. He's here in Provincetown. He is a flutist, and he's going to play something for us a little bit later. But for now, Eric, welcome to Arts Week.
Wow, thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here because I've got like this whole music thing. We have Jung Ho Pak in the first part of the show, and we've got you, the flutist, in the second part of the show, and it's just really exciting to be surrounded by all this music. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background and why you come to be here, how you came to be here.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I went to the Peabody Institute there, and I studied with Marina Piccinini. After that, I went to Boston for graduate school. I went to the New England Conservatory, where I studied with Paula Robeson. And then I actually quit the flute for a while. I was profoundly unhappy, and I just had questions about why, and I thought music was part of it. So actually I quit for a while, and then I didn't get happier. And so then I started playing flute again after about a 2-year break, just to give myself discipline and routine, and I started feeling better.
Amazing how that works.
Right. I came back to it really confident this is what I wanted to do, and not something that I had just I was good at in school, and I just kept rolling along with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why the flute? How did you come to choose that?
My old answer used to be, well, it was the shiniest thing on stage.
I love it.
But no, in all seriousness, I think the first time I saw a flute soloist, I was just so captivated by it. It was the sound and the expression, and it was just, it's a calling to me now. I recognize that. Yeah.
Well, you prepared a piece to play for us today. Why don't you tell us what it is you're going to play, and anything you want. I should digress for a second and say that I have been on and off following your Fluting and Tooting show on Facebook, and I have learned more about music just listening to you talk about, here's what I'm going to play, here's something about the composer, here's something about the piece, here's what you should be listening for. I just find that absolutely amazing. So I'm so excited that we can bring that to the WOMR audience. So what are you going to play for us today?
Well, let me say thank you. I appreciate that. Today I'm going to be playing Claude Debussy's Syrinx for solo flute.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want a little story about it first?
Sure. Let's do that.
So this is probably the most famous 13 lines of music in the flutist's repertoire. This is the story of the wood nymph Syrinx. She's being chased by Pan, the goat god of flute playing, debauchery, and wine. So to escape him, she throws herself into a river, transforming into reeds. And Pan is just distraught, having lost sight of her. And in his angst, he cuts the reeds and he makes the pan flute. And he doesn't know he's killing Syrinx, but he does. And that's why we always see Pan depicted with those flutes, because it is his love, and he keeps her with him.
Oh, that's lovely. All right, let's hear it.
Here we go.
I end one of your shows and feel like I'm so much smarter than I was when I first tuned in about music, but just about life. You really do that.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I think classical music sort of suffers from feeling inaccessible to people because there
Mm.
is so much history and so much context. And, once it's explained, people are just that much more interested and they feel, yeah, they feel welcomed, I think.
So one of the things I said to you earlier this week was that I talked about one of the senses I get from you, and interestingly enough, that this came up in my earlier conversation too, is about music as joy. And to my surprise, you said yes, but there's another side to it. And I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about that.
Oh, sure. Oh, where to start? um, Hmm. There has to be contrast for joy to come through. So when I'm playing pieces, sometimes I have to make it really ugly or add more tension so that when I hit that soaring, beautiful spot, it really soars. Um, I just feel like, yeah, for there to be joy, people need to go through like the shadow. They need to go through the valleys, and I have my pieces that are really like my sorrowful pieces. They're the ones I sit when I'm sad. I sit and play them. But then I do have those ones that um, are joyful, are hopeful. The one of the pieces that I started playing to get myself really back in shape for playing flute is a Lark Ascending.
Mhm.
And it's my favorite. I feel so free when I'm playing it, and it is the piece that got me to start playing again. So yeah, but it wouldn't have those meanings for me if I hadn't had that 2 years of just asking questions and being sad and being a little lost. And yeah.
Right. So you know what the other side of the coin is, so to speak. And in a sense, you almost had paid your dues in terms of, the angst. You could bring that back to the music that way.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize like music is such a gift because it is sort of like built-in therapy in a way. I show up every day, I do my morning exercises to get the fundamentals right, and then I have the afternoon to play beautiful music and take whatever I'm going through and put it into the music.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, so where can people find you, see you, hear you?
Currently, the best place is going to be on Facebook at Eric Maul Flute, or if
That's
you're an
Maul, I should tell people.
Yep, Maul, that's me. And if you're an Instagram person, I'm the Frantic Flutist on Instagram.
I love the name. And you're going to be appearing as part of One Fund, aren't you?
Oh, yes, yes. One Town, One Fund. This Thursday, there's going to be a variety show to help raise money for, I think it's 19 nonprofit organizations here in P-Town.
And you're part of that.
I am, yes. Actually, Brian Calhoun, the marimba player, and I were doing a medley of Somewhere and Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh, perfect music. That'd be wonderful. So that's tonight, Thursday, and you can tune into One Fund. I think I mentioned it earlier in the show. And you can look for Eric online on Facebook, Instagram, and around town when we can hear him. I think you also give lessons, don't you?
I do teach. Because of COVID, it's been a little weird, but I do offer online lessons and people can contact me about that. Or if they see me at the West End Beach where I tend to practice in the mornings, they can ask me there.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Eric Maul, thank you so much for being my guest on Arts Week this week.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
And thanks to everybody out there for listening in. There's a lot to do and listen to this week. So get out there and do it. And I'll be back soon to tell you more. Until then, au revoir, Provincetown.